Some time ago, me can our platform we so say Ghana has a leadership crisis. Now, our leadership crisis now make it is not only our political leaders, our religious leaders, and most importantly, our traditional leaders. Into political, religious, traditional leaders, we are having a leadership crisis in this country. In Penyufu ananka ususu say we mu de ye trust omo eni kwan se bi omo di mu asem bi no obekom no na omo kra na eye trese ade anya nkola mpo beye emu asem ampanyini di no obe wona say nti aso mesi wo ye panyi de nene asem aba, and I'll tell you a personal story as well. Somewhere last 2 weeks ena me share me papa bi me ka me papa pa trese ye can one of the people I want play me obi a emra me so no e na me ankasa me biological father wo film but in crofo bebre e play role e wo my brabum as papa for nti ni pakro na oye me papa adam for emra na me papa ti ase no me papa adam for pan nti last 2 weeks na me share no kan se mi tre me ono so ye panyi and na me no ka se ni efi obedi be 70 ho ne nikra efrefra na me no ka say ne ni efrefra, but last 2 weeks or can say me try me personal, I'll tell you, don't worry. And also ye ahemfo nsensem we are now. You say Banka chief jailed for stealing $150,000 belonging to community and fined 24,000 Ghana cedis. Now just say ohene wa we are community no esika $150,000, and the $150,000 so they call Ghana scheme, it should be over 200 it should be over 2 million Ghana cedis. Over 2 million Ghana cedis. No. Yeah, can't me sure class say say 3 million Ghana cedis. No. Ohini we are community ni sika amount of money we are every community ni sika we are any yachinatum. I say the chief of Banka, a farming community in the Ashanti district of the Ashanti region, has been jailed by the High Court in Accra for stealing $150,000 belonging to the community. The chief, Osaberima Chiampoma III, was found guilty of stealing by the High Court presided over by Justice Comfort K. Tasiame after a full trial on July 23rd. July 23rd, for those who didn't know, July 23rd was my birthday. And after a full trial on July 23rd. I say upon his conviction, he was sentenced to serve 3 months in prison in addition to 2,000 penalty units, which is equivalent to 24,000 Ghana cedis. Into a hidden area sikapudu say, yesi one konko de infiase for 3 months. And I'm going to speak on that as well. Because yeti chrome ha no because we are aponche cost 600 cedis. Near money pakono ko dem for ebia 1 year na 2 years and 3 years. No hinie we are sika amounting to about 3 million Ghana cedis. Near so onko dem 3 months there. Then our judiciary no. And so problem ewo. I say Justice Comfort Tasiame, while sentencing the convict, said that should he default on the payment of the fine, he should serve 5 years in prison. Inti yamane 3 months there. Now so yamane fine, say won't you 24,000 cedis. Now sa 24,000 cedis no went to me into there, and then there obeda and fiase for 5 years. I say the chief, now convict, was arrested and charged after he was said to have pocketed the 150,000 Ghana cedis a gold mining company, Gulf Coast Resource Company Limited, had given to the community for corporate social responsibility obligations. See when Trese omo de omo asase ama company bi se wo muntu gold. Na asase na de ama company ne de ne se otu gold ya ye wade bi a ye frɛ no corporate social responsibility. Company ne de sika ne bi beba. Na ye di sika no aye mpuntu nyuma e wo sa kuro ne so. Inti company no e de $150,000 e buy. Se ohene no onfanye mpuntu nyuma wo kuro ne so. Ohene na tena sika ne so. You see the type of leaders we have in this country. Ohene no watena sika ne so. Watena sika ne so. Now, background. I see on July 21st, 2023, the accused Osaberima Chiampoma III was arraigned on the charge of stealing, contrary to Section 124 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. I say, upon his arraignment, the accused pleaded not guilty to the charge leveled against him. The prosecution, led by Watkins Adama, a state attorney, called 3 witnesses who testified in support of its case. I say, on December 19, 2023, when the prosecution closed its case, the accused prayed the court for leave to make a submission of no case to answer, and the same was granted by the court. I say, on February 20th, 2024, the court in its ruling on the submission of no case to answer found that the prosecution, through its witnesses, was able to prove that there was a prima facie evidence for the accused to mount a defense. The trial, by way of evidence, subsequently concluded on May 7, 2024, after the accused testified and Prof. Kwame Jan Esquire appeared as his only witness. Now, this is the brief fact. I say, it was the case of the prosecution, led by State Attorney Watkins Adama, that the complainant, Nana Yeboah, is a member of the community and acted on behalf of the people of Banka. The accused, Osaberima Chiampoma III, is the chief of Banka, a farming community in the Ashanti Achim district of the Ashanti region. The prosecution stated that in the year 2000, a gold mining company by the name Gulf Coast Resources Limited acquired a mining lease for a period of 10 years from the Minerals Commission to operate gold mining on Banka lands. It said the mining lease expired in 2010, and on the expiry of the lease, the mining company wrote to the Minister of Lands, Forestry and Natural Resources for the renewal of their mining lease on Banka lands. The prosecution added that the Banka community, spearheaded by the accused, vehemently challenged the renewal of the lease. Now, I say the prosecution told the court that in a letter in June 2010 addressed to the then Minister of Lands, Forest and Natural Resources, uttered by the accused on behalf of the elders and people of Banka, they petitioned against the renewal of the lease. The grounds of the petition were that the Gulf Coast Resources Company Limited had failed to fulfill its corporate and social obligations to the Banka community for the past 10 years that the company operated at Banka. Now, assembly in say, in the year 2000, a company be a trauma buying NPP time, and a company ni trauma buying say opese obabe too good ewo sa ekrone so Banka aban epene so ma company no say company nkonko too good ho na company ni too good ni wie ya sa time 2010 sa time na NDC aba into 2010 and a company no mo lease 10 years lease no to try na like any other company no say why you juma for 10 years now o hena say profitable la o san so pese aban ma another 10 years and more years and another year na what to aso it's company ne ba say wo mo tro ama aban say aban ye wie ye 10 years no ye san so pese ye to aso because ye wie ye juma nti ye sre ma ye renew your license no ma ye ne enye den ye mfa nto aso nti ye ho na omo a wo mo kuro ne so ohene no ene omo mo kuro ne so no enimdifo e wo kuro ne so ka say da bi omo petition aban minister etre minister said abi men fact renew an ma company no na de enti eni kwan say odi renew an ma company ne say 10 years a company no omo ba be too gold wa ha no na agreement ene say eya na omo too gold ne kakra omo be man sika ni bi ne enso ye de aye impuntu nyuma e wo ye kuro ne so untumi man be too gold wo ye kuro so na umma kuro no en develop enti for 10 years no sa company no mu ndi sa agreement ne so enti na menu so nti ma aban ma company no sa eye renew ano nti the people of sa kuro no they had a case omo hene ni na di enim one omo a mpanyifo bi e wo kuro ne so na di enim now yen hwe de esi ye I say the prosecution stated that it said that following the petition the management of the company entered into negotiations with the accused and the people of Banka. The prosecution stated that at the negotiations, the company promised to pay the Banka community $150,000 for the development of the Banka community if the accused and the people of Banka would withdraw that petition against the renewal of their lease. Inti company ni hu say e kromfo no ehene asro nkrata akwa koma aban na che say ahwe ya yentumi nya renewal no ende yenko ni yenko fie ne ohene ne nkonko kasa to mo koe no mo ko ahemfie eno mo ne ohene ne kokko kasa ya one ni mpanyimfo a wo mo tre say de mo kan ya temu ase na yaye ya adwen say ye be ma mo $150,000 yesre mo se ye ma mo $150,000 na mo fan withdraw case na mo de akwakoto aban yanim no mo withdraw case no. So that was more like a negotiation, a company no, any ohene no, any mpanyimfo on behalf of the community, ekoye. Ati asiye. Now, Owie was say, it was the case of the prosecution that the accused and the people of Banka obliged and accordingly withdrew their petition in a letter in January 2011 addressed to the Minister of Lands, Forestry and Natural Resources. Into the 2011, the following year, and on hene and crop for tena se dwin hu se $150,000 de betumi aye mpuntu nyuma pa amayen nti no kre wo de ye ntwe petition no because de ye pa ni sika petition de ye try na say company no mo anhwe yen na afi omo di sika ba no mo be hwe yen de a say ne de ye pa no nti ye ntwe ensan e no mo twe san ye. I say the said letter was also authored by the accused on behalf of the people of Banka. Consequently, the mining lease of the company was renewed for another 10 years beginning in 2011. Iti omotwen san ye no na ban e grante company no another 10 years say wo monko enko etu gold. I say upon renewal of their lease, the Gulf Coast Resources Company Limited also transferred their rights to another mining company called Banka Gold Limited. The prosecution told the courts. Into omo renew omo lease ni wie ye no. And I'm say company no, and I think that it is something that na mining sector no mo ye. So mo wie ye no and a company no a transfer on lease no e come another gold company be a friend the Banka Gold Limited. It stated that out of the proceeds from this transaction, Gulf Coast Resources Company Limited paid an amount of $150,000 through the accused for the people of Banka as promised earlier. The managing director of the Gulf Coast Resources Company Limited, Mr. Ebenezer Ban Asare Kwansa, told the police that the payment of the said amount to be to the accused as the chief of Banka was for the Banka community and not for the accused personally. Enti company no e penny crab bakoto a wobetre se ani yetua $150,000 na sa $150,000 no yentia ma wo hene se ye nisika yetia on behalf of eye kuro no because ohene no or the kuro ni din ene kasa ye ntem se na ohene no e argue wo court o se eye personal sika ye de ma no ena company penny for betre se dabi. I said the accused acknowledged receipt thereof per a receipt dated June 2011 which was personally signed by him. The content of the receipt indicates that the amount was paid to the accused on behalf of the elders and people of Banka. The accused, however, failed to inform the people of Banka that he had received the money, the prosecution stated. Into ohene no agi receipt. Emma watrel so na receipt na kra na yetro wo so say enye ohene ni sika na eye kuro ni sika. Ohene ni di sika ni wie ye ne mpanyimfo a woni omwo ahemfie kra wambo omo amane. Ekurumanfo no wambo omo amane ohene na tena sika ne so. Hey! I say he also failed to release the money to the people of Banka for the internal developmental needs. Impuntu nyuma nanka wo mo pese wo mo de sika ne so ye no. Wan fe sika na anye sa impuntu nyuma no. Watena so. Intimi sure say o meba be kan oh nana na asem na kwa kosi sen nkrofo yi de na nana be ka so nkrofo mi nti o mo nka ho ye twen nkrofo mi se ohene na jisika ma watro receipt na ho. I said the people of Banka, however, got wind that the money had been paid to the accused. They waited for a long time, but the accused did not tell them anything. But oya de nkra na asem na be pie e no kware. Inti kromanfo no ete ye se omatua ohene ne ka. Na so omo so he ni medi nimde eni ebua ma ohene ne se wo hene ne be ya amamre na watre yen se wo matua ne ka. Ohene a won kasa. Kromanfo no so he nim. Yetua ohene ne ka. Ohene ne nka bibi ni yentie. Ohene mpeso obekasa. Nana, na sa na otie. Consequently, the elders of Banka approached him on several occasions, but the accused told them that the money had not been paid to him. It's a mpenyimfo wa himfie no eba wo hene nanim e de ne mekasa say nana ya te se sika na ba nso nka ahwentre ye e de na ekoso nana say masa sika bi amba sika bi amba meto minsem nana e de na oyi. As not satisfied, the elders reported the matter to the police and the accused was arrested. The prosecution stated that when interrogated, the accused acknowledged receipt of the money. Inti ahemfo no ekoko report o hene no Emma police. Na me sure say sa me say ahemfo sa empenifo ewo krom no. Me sure say sa empenifo ewo krom ho no ye threaten no mo after say wo mo call report because on say ahemfo no ya na sa de no mo di dwane. O yes wo call report o mo ama police o si hani and the o de hene call police and the ebetwa wesu ya no musro. Inti ye call report o mo ma police. Call report o hene no ma police and police for be chin. Police for chin no ka say no kwari sika na maje. And I'll say, but he said that the money was paid to him personally for his personal use and not for the Banka community, and that he had used the money to defray his legal expenses, which he incurred while pursuing the matter with Gulf Coast Resources Resources Company Limited. Afe ohene se sika na ye ne personal sika na enye sika ye de ma kru no. E ono ne personal sika na sika ne kra no no ohene no waboka because asem no ye so wo de court. And the lawyer said Gini sika. Into waboka, Emma wo di sika ne tua the lawyers. Into ye ne personal sika. You see the type of leadership we have in this country. So that is the case. Ena ama ohene no. Ena me ne okase. Ya china tum se won konko da ifiase. Ohene no oni. Ohene no oni. That is the case. We have a serious problem in this country. Leadership problem. Oh, jai. Une a crow for no aya agreement. Sike mu ahweni mu sika ne beto ne nsemu a o no ane plans. With this sika no. Na we wo sika na nke be yo se obeye se okode mfiase. Da bi anko betua na nke yeja no. Oni sika ne nti no. Wakwa akode mfiase. Ze mu ndi esi. Na ma mental me personal story. Send ya make me papa bi me papa ewo mabrabom ne niefi na oye me papa. Wo hwe de waya ame ewo abrabom a oye me papa pa. Na 2 weeks ago ena me nam kwan ho me drive wo kwan ho na me hu na me say we dey me share me papa nti me mfa ne enkosi ne wo fie. Nti but neni senior maker no neni enhye da anye sa but still eya no no ankasa etumi nante wo kwan ho. How he's able to do that I don't know. He has blurred vision but he's able to walk. Nti me bia me kan ma no ena me bo me din tren no ohun ye no say ena oba betena aka anim. So betena aka na me ga say me hu na che me nenity area. And me ga say me hu na che na eya na me bisa na area na yere say de bia okọ Ekrase, right? Me care Ekrase in the sense that ni hometown. They be me bisan the year and they be someone the year katem ne say or fie or Ekrase. And katem say anio na the ama nansin wa Ekrase kra ne say or hene fufuro bi a wo mo ede na ba be si so e wo mo Ekrase ho no. O hene ne baaye no waji wo mu ni nansase e na waton. Inti the ama nansen what I call Ekrase ho a court case. Omo de ohene na akwa akosi court. Inti de bia every week I was say woko no court no go tie oko follow case no. Na me say we a voter region no. Na me say na de we de me de na nka mimi nim no Accra na sansensem we esi. Me nte say voter region ohene bia yesa de ne da. Na say yani so omunso nanse wo macha se wo musia from there ahemfo no ye wa Accra nti omunso ahemfo bia wo voter region a sha se wo mo yesa de no. Na me say but what's the sense behind it? So on tiasie asase a eyebusua saase for several years afa nkrofo nsem ono wo ba beda na ebusua panyi ende ono na ehe asase so no wo hene ye de wo besi so na ye beti ane se ye se ye tu omo efi asase ne so aden a ye se ohene na akwa akoton asase na mo obi enti papa panyimu a wabobra pan a wahwe nkrofo se ne ameka so ye me papa no wabobra a wahwe nkrofo no edu se ende also wo gya na busuafo ho e wotema every week no okọ ekrase eko follow court case because of ohene bi ni greed obi a nani kra na enhye dan nyesa na so de bia o follow case no eko ekrase. Look at the inconvenience just because of the new ohene bi a wo de na aba besi so. So this country we are in trouble. We are in trouble, I kid you not. The leadership crisis we have in this country, and akwa could do say yedi obi edi adie pe ade papa wo benye fi adie na odi ni mu pe ne ye adwen yenya de obi be di adie pe o say ah ene asas insase aba be hye ne nsa ene go ya aba be hye ne nsa you see I cry for the future of this country. I kid you not. I cry for the future of this country. Montre mo your comment box ni mo me da say